All right. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Triangle Aphasia Project's, I was going to say June 2020 Town Hall meeting. This meeting is intended to keep you informed of what's going on with us here at TAP, with our ability to provide you all with services, both virtual and otherwise, to answer some of the questions that I've been getting, either via text, on the phone, emails, where people are saying, are you guys going to be opening? When are you going to be opening? And certainly since the governor started to lift some of the restrictions, we've all been wondering, how do we feel about going to the next step and getting back involved? More than that, this opportunity that we've had over the last couple months has provided us with a wealth of information that we're going to take into TAP, thanks to the support and help from all the committees, from my right-hand woman, Amy, and all of the group leaders and the board of directors. So without further ado, we're going to talk about some of those things and get started with our agenda. I'm going to do that by sharing my screen. And the other thing I will let you guys know is that I totally respect your time. And so therefore I will be providing this in as quick amount of time as I can. There we go. Just wanted to make sure that you guys could still see me too. So we will try to keep this to within a half hour, 40 minutes at max. So I'm going to provide some supports along the way. If you're sitting with someone you love with aphasia, please do the same. Have a pad of paper, write some keywords, or review it afterwards. That's very important. Okay, so this is our agenda today. This is what we'll be covering. We're going to talk a little bit about TAP at Home, our weekly schedule, and some upcoming programs, talking a little bit about learning to speak aphasia and our gifts to the community, talk a little bit about reopening or phasing or whatever we're going to call it. And then, because it is June, we are going to talk about our favorite month of the year and how we're going to stay positive and energetic as we move into National Aphasia Awareness Month. And finally, what's next for TAP and how you can help. So as you all know, and I'm sure I don't need to repeat, but am going to anyway, is that the Triangle Aphasia Project is not an organization just for individuals with aphasia. Our logo shows it clear that we serve individuals with aphasia, but we also recognize that a person with aphasia has family and friends and many communicative partners. Those individuals must know how to communicate with this individual with aphasia, or social isolation is going to continue. And we've all learned a lot about social isolation. But also, a person does not live in a vacuum with their family, despite what we've all been doing for the last 3 or 4 months. It's not intended this way. I read a quote the other day from Brene Brown that talked about how we are hardwired for connection. We are meant to have a community larger than ourselves. And so it is why things that are happening in the world are so hard for us, because we really believe in community and connecting with other individuals within the human race. So we want to talk about the Triangle Aphasia Project, of what it is now and what it is going to be. Most of you know that this organization was started basically in my living room, continued out to the trunk of my car in 2003. I'm giggling to myself because nobody's here. It's very strange. Anyway, it was put together by individuals also with aphasia and their families, some support people in the Triangle area who believed in our organization. We are a nonprofit organization. We are classified as a 501c3, and that's very important that you know for future reasons. And that we are unique. We are and were the first hub and spoke model. and our focus is on connection. So prior to the last few months, this is how we defined ourselves. The hub, our new beautiful hub here in Cary at the Dorcas Plaza, but then all of us reaching out into the community where people are with the intent of not just educating family and friends, but people in the community so that a person with aphasia would feel very safe and comfortable communicating in that environment. And at the same time, we're building awareness of aphasia. So we were kind of all around North Carolina with our hub and spoke model. But then along came COVID, and we recognized immediately that this is a very vulnerable population. I think that Amy and I were talking the other day that it seemed like it was Tuesday and then it was Thursday and we were shut down. It happened so quickly, but we value your health and well-being, and we know that people with aphasia are in a vulnerable position, being sometimes within the age range. Although for those of you who don't know, our average age is 47. So this is not aphasia does not happen just to older individuals, but it happens to everyone, and it doesn't discriminate at all. You are also vulnerable from a communication standpoint, and I think that people are really learning what it feels like not to be able to connect with other individuals and feeling that kind of social isolation. The part that scared me the most and still scares me is the people that are not involved in some of the Tap at Home programs are still very vulnerable from a recovery standpoint. We know that the impact of what we're doing by gathering together in groups, by working on book reading and writing and listening and speaking, are all the things that make neuroplasticity work. It rewires the brain. And what we know is that if you don't have that constant practice and that reinforcement, that you will not be able to maintain the stimulation you need to get those new neural connections. So we want to make sure we keep connected. So we developed a program called Tap at Home. You should all know about this. You probably do since you're here today, but it was a way of saying, look, we need to do something to keep people active and involved. Yes, it did include a whole bunch of virtual groups, but it also included Facebook groups. We give assignments and ideas, and we also do a lot of wellness checks. So we did what the rest of the universe was doing. We pivoted, we shifted, and we adapted. So our schedule became this. And as you will notice, this is not the same every week. That's one thing I'm really glad you all are here, because this is not something that that is static. This is something that changes week to week, only because we get new people and new group opportunities. So right now, we have really built up that group a lot. So if you have any questions about any of these groups, make sure you put them in the Q&A, and when I can't see the Q&A right now, so when we stop, we'll be able to chat about that. So we went from this kind of connection to this kind of connection, and it was a big adjustment, but wow, y'all did amazing. And the stories that we have about connecting to people in the hospital while they're still in inpatient rehab and getting them connected again with their friends, or reconnecting with our goals of having individuals follow their passion, like Joelle does with her meditation group on Friday. Reaching new audiences has been the biggest lesson learned. My favorite quote, I'm giving credit to both Joel and to Ron, who is our board chair, for catching this quote. But Joel had said, now that we have TAP in our lives, we clamor for that village every day. And it is something that really makes my heart swell to know that you all feel this community the same as I do. So a little bit more about Tap at Home. We are more than just groups. We are groups, but we are much more than just groups. I wanted to point out some of the things that have been happening over this past couple months. One is kind of give it up here for that Tap Roots Garden Group, which if you don't know much about, it's your time to learn about it. It's the our garden group, and it's a collaboration that Rippy Hendricks and her amazing group of volunteers and TAP clients put together with the Hemlock Bluffs and the Holly Springs Food Cupboard and the Cooperative Extension, Master Gardeners, who not just get together to plan and grow food, but to connect and help those less fortunate. And they have, I think it was the first year, they had all made a ton of food for, like 1 ton of food for people in need. They held their annual plant sale, utilized all of the precautions that the governor and the CDC recommended, set up a great, thanks to Rebecca, set up a great buy and pick up plants, and they did an amazing job. We had a TAP volunteer who spent hours and hours making masks for everyone. I have my mask right here, and she did an amazing job. Anyone who needed masks, we sent it out. Our board chair held a food drive and got a whole bunch of food and some gift cards donated for those of us TAP clients, those families that really need some help during this time. We've been holding Learn to Speak Aphasia, and I want to tell you guys something amazing about this, is that I love doing Learn to Speak Aphasia. I do it once a month on Sunday during the month, and normally we bring in brownies and carrots and some healthy stuff too, and we sit here and we learn about people who have aphasia and their families, and we do some education and training. But by putting the Learning to Speak Aphasia accessible online, we have reached people as far west as Seattle, as far east as up in Maine and down in Florida. It is absolutely amazing. And speaking of that, one of our groups actually has a member that used to come to our Saturday groups and joins us from Kenya to multiple groups. It's amazing. We have also added in TAPnet support programs. We hold now 2 groups a week for support, and that is for people who love somebody with primary progressive aphasia, and then another group for individuals who love someone who's had a stroke or a brain injury and has aphasia. And I'll tell you a little secret about that too, is that when I first held these support groups, and we even had a counselor who was trained in aphasia, and we could get maybe 2-3 people here every month, and sometimes not even that. It was really hard, and we saw that perspective and gained new insight into what people need. And we realized that this online version allows people to come every week and connect with other people who are going through the same thing. And the most important, in my opinion, right now that we are doing is a TAP Newcomers program. And I want you all to stop and think for a second of that day when you or someone you loved had a stroke, and you didn't know where you were, what happened. You're all of a sudden in the hospital. You are unable to communicate your basic thoughts and your needs, even though you knew everything that was going on here. Now you have a stroke and it's COVID time. Do you know that people who are in the hospitals are not allowed to have a visitor with them? That means these people over the last 3 months have suffered a stroke or a brain injury and been alone. Now, certainly they have been with healthcare heroes that we love, but more than that, they have not had the same continuum of care, the same support as what they would normally have had. So TAP reached out to all of our colleagues in the hospitals and rehab centers, and we're so impressed and amazed that they allowed us to connect with their patients and outpatient. So we've been seeing some people at TAP who are still in the hospital or in inpatient rehab, and they've been learning about TAP. We all know what that means is that people will not fall through the cracks, and it's very important. As a matter of fact, here's a couple stats for you. You know how I love numbers. Over these couple months, we have served 109 different clients in 30 different towns or cities with a total of 847 client hours. I might have to ask Amy to text me the actual date, because I think this would be only in the last 2 months that we've achieved all of these. That's some pretty good stats for a small nonprofit, and we couldn't have done all of that without you guys. I wanted to mention about some of the TAP at-home offerings, because maybe you're not paying attention to the eye contact, thinking that that schedule remains the same, but we're adding some new groups. We always have these groups called Conversations and Connections, and yet we also have a game group, Games and Fun group. We have a music group. We have a movie club. Oh, that movie club is so fun. 2 weeks ago, our friend Julie Bryant started a Bible study group. We have book clubs, Candace is doing both of the book clubs, Tap Roots, meditation. We even have a new program called Art in Residence, and it's because people have enjoyed doing some art now at home. I know a lot of people are putting puzzles together and painting and doing crafts. So we're going to be scheduling an artist every week on Fridays, and it'll be a different artist with a different venue. We also have Facebook groups, and if you have not been on our Facebook groups, are not connected to our Facebook groups, I give you Michelle as a great example of someone who's continuing the conversation and getting it going. It's your group. It's private. You can only people that have aphasia in the TAP and are a TAP client can get into those groups. We have one for individuals with aphasia, one for family members or loved ones, and then one for PPA. And it's a really great place to connect. You do have to be invited to that group, so if you are not in it, please let me know. We also are doing wellness checks and calls, and I have to tell you, our group leaders, even the ones that are working in the hospital, they're taking time out and calling their folks and just checking in on them, and it's really amazing. And then, as I mentioned, the Learning to Speak Aphasia. So we are so incredibly lucky, appreciative of being in this community, and we are trying to pay back those people by, like we are talking about, collecting food and seeing how we can help. The board just approved this opportunity for us to provide pizza, and you all know this big Mamma Mia's pizza that we get from Apex here. And we're giving some of the healthcare workers some pizza delivery. And it's a Tuesday lunch with TAP. And today, Rex Hospital's rehab unit and Steps for Recovery both obtained big giant pizzas and posted them. So we were super happy to do that, because we're not just helping them, we are also helping this small Italian bistro, because we think it's really important that you keep in track of small businesses. Okay. The other reason I wanted to get together as a TAP community is I need your help. And not just in a couple other things I'm going to be talking about, but if you have not seen this video, it is on our YouTube channel, it's on our Facebook page, and it's on our eye contact. And this video was put together by a group of our heroes in the Music Mania group. Thanks to Rosemary Takis, who is a soon-to-be music therapist, just graduated. We put together this song, and I'm going to play it for you because I think it's important, and I hope you enjoy it.
Aphasia is a loss of words. We got to tap and find words.
Aphasia Project Unlimited is where I go there to talk
group got together and rewrote these words as a tribute for you for everything that you do.
This must be challenging and lonely.
Do not see family and friends right now.
You are everyone's hero. That's your way.
Thank you for all you do.
We hope you're all staying healthy. We appreciate your bravery. We are grateful for your service. You're all angels in the sky.
You are all strong and courageous.
You are all compassionate.
Kind and selfless and love.
And we are indebted to you.
We hope that you are staying healthy. We appreciate your bravery. We are grateful for your service. You are all angels in disguise.
Thank you for allowing me to play that again. It is only probably the 13th or 14th time that I've watched it, and I still get choked up. What I want to tell you and how I need your help is that I want people to hear these words, these voices that so deserve to be heard. And I also want the healthcare providers in the front lines to know that we really do appreciate them because they're keeping us healthy. And so I'm going to ask you to please, please share this video. Share the link with as many people as you can and ask them to share it. We had word yesterday that this has reached Michigan, Seattle, New York, Florida, and the UK and Australia. We also heard a rumor that it has been sent to Good Morning America. Of course, if it was sent by more than one person, you know, I said today, maybe we, you know, might get on the Ellen show or something, I don't know. So share, these voices need to be heard. And thank you to those people for just showing their immense vulnerability and just, you have my undying respect. All right, so now to the question that so many people have been asking is when are you going to open again? You know, when are we going to get together? And let's face it, as people are calling it, there's a new normal. We are leaving the old behind in so many ways, similar to after 9/11, where if at that time someone had told us we wouldn't be able to bring a water bottle onto the airplane, we would have said, what? But there's going to be some new normals, but there is hope, and we will be back to connecting in person again. But let's take a look at what that looks like for us. The official plans, all of the things that we are monitoring and watching, that everybody is, which is not just all the federal and state and city guidelines, but also our hubs. Remember, we're a hub and spoke model. So it's not just important what happens here in our TAP home, but what happens at Wake Med or at Atria or our other facilities. We are getting some words that some of those places are willing to have us come back soon, but we want to make sure that you all are safe. So it is going to start with and finish with individual comfort level. Some people may not be happy getting out and about until, you know, there's a vaccine. Other people are saying, okay, well, you know, when the summer is good and hot, and maybe then. So we want to show you what we're doing. First thing we did was we put together a task force, and I'm so appreciative of this task force made up of a board member, group leaders, volunteers, and 2 different families who allow us to get together and put together all the information about what's available. This task force is not just looking at the transition back to one-on-one, but it's our groups, but it's also looking at what parts of TAP at Home have we learned are amazing and we want to keep, because I'm going to tell you, we're going to keep some of them. We have, I'm currently enrolled in taking the courses called Count on Me NC. Also have done some other COVID training. I'm pretty much on some webinar about COVID and returning training about 3 hours a week, but they're very helpful. The problem is they're fluid and they're changing, so we'll keep the task force in line here with what we're doing. And then modifying the TAP structure. If you looked when we first came into, did a little tour of the office, we have been playing with new space room areas and how we're going to keep people 6 feet apart, and what are some of the rules and things that we will have here at TAP. We would love your input. We love your thoughts and ideas. It's again ending with, and most importantly, your individual comfort level. I want to assure you, even if you don't decide to come back to TAP in our groups, you are not going anywhere. We still are part of the TAP family. Almost wrapping up here, but we can't go away without talking about June, because June is National Aphasia Awareness Month. It is the month where normally we're out and about at all different locations, telling people about aphasia, getting people to know about what's going on in the world of aphasia here and how TAP is serving individuals with aphasia and their families. I want to thank Ron, who is our board chair, for obtaining this with all the stuff the governor's got going on. We were still able to have the governor proclaim June 2020 as Aphasia Awareness Month in North Carolina. And this is the actual proclamation that we will be, well, we'll get one here to be framed. But this is something that's great to share with people. It's a big honor to have a month named after us. So thank you, Ron, for getting that going. In June, we all look forward to the end of the month. We always look forward to our big party. Last year we had our Sweet 16. This year we are 17 years old and we're looking to, you know, really test those limits like my, you know, like kids at 17. But COVID had other plans for us. So June 2020 is looking a little different. Let me tell you how it's going to be. First of all, I'm very excited to announce that we are having a program called Tap on Tuesdays. And every Tuesday evening through the entire month of June, we will be having a special opportunity. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We are also going to focus on advocacy and awareness. we're going to have to use virtual modes. We're going to have to do webinars. We're going to have to get on and share, and we need your help. One of the things that have been hugely helpful for us on this is TAP chats, and I'll talk about that in just a second. And then we need to ramp up. We're going to ramp up this whole month, and instead of holding the signature event in June, we're holding it in July, and yes, it will be virtual. So back to TAP on Tuesdays. I will follow up this meeting with a schedule of Tuesdays. Every Tuesday might not be the most appropriate one for you or out of your choice, but today's is the town hall, and then every other Tuesday is going to be a special program for one of our stakeholders. That might mean therapists, that might mean clients, that might mean family members, but just to give you a little teaser, one of those is going to be one of last year, the year before's award winner for advocacy, and that's Carl McIntyre, who had the movie Aphasia. If you haven't watched it, I strongly recommend that you try to get your hands on it. We do have a copy here if you want to watch it. But he is going to be providing us with a talk with him and his wife, and really excited about that. Advocacy and awareness starts with people who have aphasia because it's your voice people need to hear. And so this TAP Chat program was developed by the Advocacy and Ambassador Club of TAP. And I know you guys have seen this, I won't play the whole thing, but this is Joelle telling her story.
Welcome to TAP Chats.
TAP Chats is a series of videos
sharing how we got aphasia
and how TAP has helped us.
Welcome with our stories.
My name is Joelle, and
this TAP Chat is available both on our eye contact and on our Facebook page.
I had a stroke.
I think they're going to make me go through this. Okay, and on to our signature event. There was a lot of sadness knowing that we were not going to be able to have our big party. It's an intense amount of work to put on our signature event, but the energy and just the whole feeling of that night, the dancing and the connection between people with aphasia, their families, professionals. When I see doctors who see their patients they hadn't seen in so long, it's just really amazing. But we are going virtual. And our theme about going virtual and our really what we're trying to align is for people to understand that it's very similar to what they're going through. Our wonderful Chris Harrell helped us, Austin's dad helped us with this beautiful thematic representation of our tapathon. That is what it's called. It's a tapathon. It's not the Jerry Lewis telethon, but it's close. It's a couple hours of entertainment and presentations and awards and special guests. And we'd love your help on this. If you know of somebody who you think would be really cool to get on, we will be having some really exciting presentations on our tapathon. It will be mainly recorded previous, so we're going to be asking you guys for some of your stories and your feedback, and then I will be doing the live portion in a socially distanced site off campus of our Dorcas in a hidden somewhere. But it is going to be on July 15th, so it's going to be after June. We're going to be all ramped up, and the time right now slot is 6:30 to 8:30. So we look forward to telling you more about our tapathon, where we are going to be celebrating hope and connection. And don't forget about strides. I am holding out hope, and I know our board chair or our chair for this committee, Brad Yarborough, is also holding out a lot of hope that we will be back together listening to the Taptastics sing the national anthem and setting in place another amazing strides race on November 7th. So we need to keep this connection. And as I wrap up, I want to let you know how you might be able to help. I'm starting with the word donate, but I'm not asking you to necessarily reach into your own pocket and say, I'm going to be the one that, you know, helps fund that TAP. Sure, we'd love that. We'd appreciate it. But we know that everyone has a community. And if we can tell people about what TAP has done for you, you could reach out to their community, to your community. A couple things we know about donations this year is, look, we're not a food bank. You know, we are not helping with housing. We are doing really remarkable, amazing things that I feel very proud of. But we also know our place. So we understand that donations may be down this year, and we understand. But we don't want TAP to not stay afloat. We need you, and we need your help in sharing the information with other people. It's easy to donate, even just, you know, $5, $10 on our website. I will also tell you that the laws have changed this year for deductions, and you can claim $300 in charitable donations without having to fill out and make the max of taxes. The other way you can help us is sharing on Facebook. If you are a Facebook person and you use Facebook, do a birthday fundraiser. I don't have the exact figures, but I will tell you that just this past month, we had 3 of our TAP, well, actually one has never even been involved in TAP, just had aphasia once and did a Facebook fundraiser. Another one was one of our clients, and then another one was a family member who lost a spouse with aphasia. They started Facebook fundraisers, and Facebook does not charge any fees to us, which means every dollar that was donated went right to TAP, which is so helpful for us to keep it going. The Icebreaker Club. This is a way of continuing the conversation. It is easy, it is automatic, and you can join for as little as $5 a month. That allows you to give automatically, and it comes right out, and you are a member then of our famous Icebreaker Sustainer Club. We don't give you an umbrella, but we give you other stuff. So. The other way you can help us is through Amazon. It is such an easy, how many people have been using Amazon? A lot. Amazon delivers to you, but if you enter Amazon, and Debbie's like, I've been shopping. If you go through smile.amazon.com, you can choose TAP as your charitable, and they will give 0.5% to TAP. It doesn't take anything off of your price. It doesn't change it at all, but it is through their donation. So please go to smile.amazon.com, and we'd love to be your charity, but if not, at least pick a charity that's close to your heart. And finally, volunteer. And I know it's hard when you can't be physically here, but we have committees, we have a board of directors, we have opportunities for you to get involved in our organization and help people in this particular time as much as you can. So if you're interested in volunteering and helping out, please let me know. Okay. I want to wrap it up with opening it up for questions. So I'm going to close this presentation, but just to give you a little perspective, TAP has been my dream, and you all made it come true. This little boy here, when I started TAP, is now 23. He's 26, and he'll be 30. And Zach is not there yet. So please know, you guys are not just connecting a community, but you're making someone's dream come true. But we're not done yet. Let's open it up and see what we have in terms of questions, comments, suggestions. If you don't have one now but want to email me, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay, one of the questions here, let me move this over so you guys can still see me, is can leaders sit in and observe another group? I'd love to learn more about the dynamics of other groups. Absolutely. Right now we are helping some of the universities, because think about all the students that really got ripped off of their opportunities to go and observe. So we are inviting one student from UNC or from another university to observe the groups and learn about a life participation approach. But yes, you can absolutely join the other groups. Okay. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat. Oh, Justine, thank you. So good putting that link up there. How do we join the task force if we want to get involved? So the task force has 2 family members right now. We could absolutely use another or 2. So all you have to do is email me, and we can get you on that committee as well. Thanks for asking that. Let's see what other questions. So if you guys are laughing at me right now, it's because every time I go near, I have to like squint. So this is what happens when you're old. Does this also include TAP aphasia support groups at Durham Regional? So there are treatment groups at Durham Regional, yes, and that's one of our spokes. We have not heard from Duke or Durham Regional on what their timeline is, but we are keeping in contact with the spokes. I think I'll be very honest and say the task force has all kind of agreed that we're not doing anything until phase 3. So when that's going to be in July or whatever, we need to keep you guys safe. So we'll be continuing all the virtual components until then. Also, I will make note that if the learning to speak aphasia is too general, I know that some people have asked for more training or a consultation via Zoom. I am happy to do that, and I've been doing that. So if you can gather your family on a Zoom call and invite me along, I don't get any brownies or any fun snacks, but I'll be there. So absolutely email me. Are you inviting people from places outside of the Triangle? We can share a TAP with aphasia friends. Yeah, so for the groups, we don't put the link out to people that are not registered for TAP. There is a program called Aphasia Recovery Connection, ARC for short, and they have a very strong Facebook presence, and they have a program where people can join their groups, and they have speech pathology leaders all over the world, actually. I know that some of our group leaders also volunteer for them, including myself. So that's kind of the bigger group, but this really is for TAP clients, our virtual groups. It's a good question. Thank you so much, Ron. I appreciate it. My family is great. What other questions do you guys have? Would you post information on donating through Amazon so we can put together that post on our Facebook? Absolutely. Jane, we actually have a really good little handout. There's one here in the TAP office somewhere that goes through the steps, and it's aphasia friendly to show you exactly what you need to do to sign up for SMILE. So yes, we will absolutely put that. Let me write that down, so I'll do that when I get home. It is so easy, and it's such a great way to raise money for us, as are the Facebook fundraisers. I'll tell you, when you have a birthday, it'll say, do you want to start a fundraiser? Set a goal. It's amazing. The other thing is, I know people have been a little iffy about getting packages. I think that's kind of calmed down now that we've learned a little bit more about transmission. But we do have a lot of stock here at TAP of all of our stuff. So I'm going to show you our little cabinet over here. As, our beautiful TAP blankets, our throws. We have tank tops for running now that it's getting warmer. We have some sweatshirts. And if you're interested in any of that, it is on our website, and we keep track of the stock that's there. If you order something, we can ship it to you. So we can definitely get it to you. We'd love for you to help us clean out our back stock area so we can order some new stuff. I think we're thinking of hand sanitizer for our new stuff. Yes, we will put the donation links in the eye contact newsletter. I'm glad somebody brought that up. The eye contact, we always say, do you read in your eye contact? Eye contact is a newsletter. So if you have a program like AOL, Earthlink, you might have to search for your newsletter. Sometimes they end up in the junk email. You need to make sure they don't end up there, and it should come from address info@aphasiaproject.org. So make sure you're getting those. They contain very important information. So please make sure you're getting that. If you are not, or if your email for some reason has stopped, let us know and we'll get you back started. Do you guys have any other questions about TAP or about what we're doing? Ideas of how we can serve you better? We're here for you. You are our family, so please let us know. Just going through the questions. If you guys have any other questions, put them up in the chat or in the questions and answers. And if you don't have any other questions, I was shooting for 7:15, that's 7:19. I will absolutely let you go. See if there's anybody else. Okay. I guess that's it. No more questions. We will have this opportunity in the other seminars and presentations we're doing. And I will ask that if you have ideas for some other things that we can do in June, ways to get the word out, things to really let people know about aphasia and about TAP, please just email me. And I know we have, I think Amy is on here, Amy Root, and she is, has a great Instagram page called Root Ramblings and just provides amazing information on their brain injury journey and has given me some ideas. Now, I am not a millennial, so I have to ask my son how to do things, but that will be, I can learn how to do it. I'm not opposed to learning. All right. It looks like people are raising their hand, but I don't know why if they're raising your hand. If you have something to say, you can put it in the chat. I think we can dismiss this one. I can dismiss this one. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, from our board of directors, from our committees. We could not have this program without you. We know that we're making a difference, but not everybody knows it. And we are definitely not, it's not common to know what aphasia is. So we need to make sure that we get that word out about aphasia and let people understand that there's appreciation and thoughts and ideas beyond words. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.